Hi guys, this is Jeff at Slavens Racing. This video is about my first impressions of the 2020 KTM 500 XCF-W, which is the same basic bike as the EXC. EXC just has blinkers and bigger taillight and plugged up muffler and a few things like that, but other than that, they're the same bike. And then all these changes also apply to the 450, and some of them apply to the 350. So this bike has been sitting in my dealership, at the dealership for a long time. I just recently picked it up. I was in a bad accident back in October, so I wasn't able to pick up the bike. But now I'm kind of getting back up to speed a little bit. I'm still not ready to ride yet, but I'm getting there. So I'm sorry for the delay, and that's why I haven't been making many videos lately. But you'll see more coming out soon, so stay tuned. But anyhow, let's get back to this bike. Like I said, it's a 2020 500 XCF, and you know, at first glance it doesn't look much different than 17 through 19 models, but it's really a whole new bike. KTM has really done a lot of great work on this, and so from this standpoint here, the bodywork is all different. It's the same as the 19 XC and XCF models and SX, SXF models. So it's got the upgraded bodywork, and the plastic is really nice. I mean, the way they've really made it locked together and more secure fit. It's a little bit trickier maybe to install or take off, but it's definitely a better fitting system. The front fender, I believe, is the same, and I think the headlight's the same, but the gas tank, the tank shrouds, the side panels, the rear fender, and the seat are all different this year. And like I said, they're like the 19 XC and XCF models. So I'm going to move around here. So on the XCW model, they don't have the restrictor screen in the back. The EXC models still do have that. They've made the subframe 40 millimeters longer to give the bodywork, the fender and everything better support. That's always a welcome change. And then I'll show you this new seat here. You can see this long bolt sitting there. That's the seat bolt. There's only one seat bolt instead of two. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed. And then that bolt goes right through here. That's how it fastens the seat on. Pretty clean setup, and seems to work just fine. So from here I'm going to take the tank off so I can show you underneath there and get a little deeper on this bike. So give me just a minute here. Okay, so I've got the tank off now, and I wanted to show you here this connector here that goes to the fuel tank is at an angle now, right here. It used to sit right across here, and I think they just did that to make everything a little more compact. It also makes it a little bit more of a pain in the ass to remove the tank though, because you cannot unplug this connector until you take the tank bolts out and lift the tank up part way. Then you can disconnect it. And then also this black fuel tap right here is plastic, so that's a piece of junk. We've got a fix for that. Got a video out on that, and also a product to fix it. And contrary to what some snake oil salesmen are saying, that fuel tap flows just fine, as well as our new one flows even a little bit more, but there is no flow issue. I really hate people that try to do the scare tactics to sell their garbage. But anyhow, let's move on with this bike here. So right here you can see it looks a little bit different underneath the seat here. I mean, things are rearranged a little bit, but all the same components are still there. There's nothing really new here. I mean, this is not even it looks like it might be an electrical component, but it's actually just a little rubber block for the seat to sit, for the seat to sit on, so it doesn't smash down these other components. But there's really nothing real new underneath here. I mean, obviously the ECU is new for this new style engine and everything, but basically that's all the same. So the big things is the frame. So this frame is basically the 2019 SXF frame, the 450 SXF frame, like the factory races in Supercross and Motocross. And you're thinking, well, now wait a minute, that frame is linkage. But, so when I say it's the SXF frame, it's, you know, from here forward. You know, they basically took the main part of the chassis and then just added the PDS suspension to it instead of the linkage suspension. So it's, they've stiffened it up in places, and they did the same thing on the 250 and 300 two-stroke, which I've ridden a lot, and it really improved the handling. I mean, the front end has a more planted feel. I've not ridden this bike yet because our weather is horrible here. We've had the roughest winter that I remember. But anyhow, I've not ridden it yet, but I did ride my 300 quite a bit last fall, and it had a much more planted feel, and I'm sure this frame's going to feel the same way. And then the new engine. So this is basically the 450 SXF engine that's, you know, been massaged to be more enduro friendly, and obviously it's a 500. But it's the smaller cases, the shorter head. This engine's 15 millimeters shorter than before, so it's more compact. That enables them to make the center of gravity better, which makes the bike handle better. And so it's got different valves, different port angles. You know, everything about this engine is different. And I'm really anxious to ride it. I've heard some good reports on it already. It's got aluminum head, what I call head stays for their motor mounts here on both sides. I don't remember those being aluminum on my 17. Maybe they were, but I'm thinking they were steel. So this new compact engine is a great feature. You know, KTM doesn't just rest on their laurels like the Japanese companies do that put out the same boring-ass trail bike for 10, 15 years in a row and just change the graphics. No, they test their bikes on the racetrack, and then when they find things that work, they add it to their next production year. And that's what they've done here. So they've also raised the compression on this engine. It was 11.7 before, and now it's 12.75. And you're probably thinking, oh, damn, I'm going to have to run race gas now. But no. With the fuel injection being so accurate, no, you don't have to run race gas. It's going to run just fine. Actually, up here in Colorado, higher elevations, I just run pump regular. I don't even buy the premium. And my bikes run great. And they've also, inside there, in the transmission, is a new Pankel transmission. And Pankel is a company in Europe that is well known for its excellent transmissions for race cars and motorcycles and everything else. And they're very durable, and they shift very well. So that's a nice new feature. It's got a new throttle body buried in there. And on the KTM side, it didn't really explain much about what's new on the throttle body, so I don't really know yet because I haven't taken it out. But supposedly it is a new throttle body. Let me move over here to the other side for a minute. Sorry guys, I'm moving kind of slow these days. But, you know, just from the outside, it looks like about the same throttle body as before. I'm sure they've just made some refinements to it. What I like is they've added this O2 sensor in the exhaust, this piece right here. The correct name for that is a lambda sensor. And what that does is it enables the computer to adjust the fuel mixture to keep it the same, whether you're at sea level or high elevation. So it's going to keep the ratio the same. You know, somewhere around 13.5 to 1, somewhere in that area. And it's going to adjust it as you go up and down in elevation, or as temperatures change, you know, hot day versus cold day, that is going to adjust it. So that is a fantastic feature. They've also got this new exhaust system. It's a new 3-piece exhaust. And that makes it easier to remove the exhaust system. Before it was a royal pain. Got a new muffler on them now. It looks a lot like the SX muffler. It's about a pound lighter. Definitely shorter, a little fatter. Looks pretty cool. Let me think what else here. As far as engine running stuff, there's a sensor on these things called the manifold absolute pressure sensor, and they've updated that. They didn't really say why, but just to make it, I guess, a little more functional. These bikes come with this little cheesy skid plate, which I'll be taking off and putting an AXP on. And one cool feature is there's a sensor on the shift drum this year, to where the ECU, electronic control unit, or the computer, as you might want to call it, knows what gear the bike is in. So they've developed different maps for each gear. So all 6 gears have different maps. And that's just, they've done it that way, you know, because the bike has different needs in different gears. As you put more load on it, it needs more fuel or less fuel in different parts of the power band. So that's another excellent feature. This bike, just pushing it around the shop here, feels considerably lighter than my 17. And so I didn't really compare the numbers on the weight, but it definitely feels lighter. I've also, I don't know, some guys have complained in the past about the KTM spokes loosening up too easily. I've never really had that problem because I keep an eye on them. But supposedly these new spokes are a new design that don't loosen as easily. And let me think what else they've done here. Oh, you know, they always claim the upgraded valving in the shocks and the forks, which is just more of a sales thing than it is anything else. Yeah, it might be slightly better, but it still sucks. If you really want a nice ride, then you really need to spend the money with somebody who knows how to do a good revalve, or put a MX Tech Lucky system in the forks, or National Shock on the back is what I'm going to do, because I want premium suspension on my bikes. But you know, these components can be massaged to work very well. Has a fan kit on it, and I don't even remember if my old bike came with that or not, but anyhow, there is a fan on it. I think that's about it, guys. I mean, it's a very nice bike. It's clean, it's light, it's got great lines. They've done a lot of fantastic improvements to it with the engine and the chassis, as well as just a lot of little details throughout the bike. I'll just kind of walk around it here one more time so you can get another look at it. Oh, I know something I'm forgetting. The map switch and traction control. So right here is a map switch. So you got access to 2 maps, and then you got traction control. So if it's a slippery day, whether dry slick or wet slick, you can try that out. And I think I've about covered it. So if you have any questions, you can give us a call at Slavens Racing, or just drop us a line, info@slavensracing.com. I'll be glad to answer them for you if I can. And I'll be coming out with more videos on this bike. I'm going to come out with a video on desmogging it, although there's not a lot of smog stuff on it this year. And then I'll definitely give you a step through on all the mods I'm going to be doing to it. So thanks for listening, guys. Please like us on Facebook, join our YouTube channel, and participate in your trail issues in your area. And get out and ride. Ride more, work less. That's all for now.